My final guest played a doctor in ER and became an international heartthrob. Today, he's a movie superstar who takes nothing for granted. Two of his latest projects prove the point. One is a science fiction mystery called Solaris. In the other, he makes his debut as a director. It's a story of Chuck Barris, the man who invented trash television. But more than that, later claimed he was a hitman with 32 kills to his credit. In this scene, he's recruited by a CIA agent.
I've never known a television producer before. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Okay. What's this money deal you were talking about?
I work for a government agency. Always looking for good, enthusiastic men to help us carry out our directives.
What kind of work? What government agency?
Problem-solving work. The Office of Diplomatic Security.
I never heard of it. Is that CIA or something?
Please be discreet, Mr. Barris.
Why me?
I'm happy to report you fit our profile, Mr. Barris. Are you interested in the work?
What's the profile?
Are you interested in the work, Mr. Barris?
Ladies and gentlemen, George Clooney. God. She's like...
Thank you, Don.
Yeah, dream on.
I was with Lenny back there.
Oh, dear. Wonderful. She draws them in like some of a mermaid, luring them out of the rocks, isn't she?
She's mean that way.
She's mean, yeah. She doesn't care. I think it's that the men find attractive in her. She just doesn't care. Now, let's talk about that movie. I mean, I saw Chuck Barris about 20 years ago, more, 30 years ago in America, and I could not believe what I saw. This is the man who invented trash television. It makes Jerry Springer, he was probably his godfather, wasn't he? That kind of guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Something to be proud of.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. The man who invented trash television.
Yeah.
We're all in his debt. And then this book that he wrote, where he claimed to have been a hitman for the CIA and 32 kills. So, I mean, I needn't ask you what attracted you to the book. I mean, it's an extraordinary story, isn't it?
Well, I thought it was, I mean, I remember the first time I read it, and I thought that I thought it was a pretty funny idea, the idea of tying bad television to the CIA somehow made sense to me. And, you know, it was a really good script, and I wanted to tell the story. But I grew up in television. You know, my father hosted a game show in New York in the mid-'70s called The Money Maze, which is a giant maze. And the husband would run through it, and the wife would stand above it going, you know, go left, go right, go left. And, which was sort of a perfect statement on television in the 70s for us. And so I grew up on those sets, and I understood what they were like, so I thought it'd be a fun thing to do, fun thing to work on.
Yes. You mentioned the childhood there and growing up in Teleland, in a sense. I suppose from that background that you came from, and given that your auntie was Rosemary Clooney, and there was all this showbiz in the family, that in a sense you're probably, genetically predisposed to going into business?
I was forced. They forced me into it. You know, probably. There's no great, we were talking about before, there's no great fame school that they teach you, you know, hey, go off and here's how you'll handle it. But I certainly had some yeah, I would think, it's a funny question. By the way, Mick did a great job. That's a song, Rosemary, the Cole Porter song, Every Time We Say Goodbye.
It's a great song.
Big hit for Rosemary. Yeah. I used to drive my aunt for a long time, and so it was really something to hear that song again.
Was that your introduction to showbiz, driving for your aunt?
Well, my father had a talk show early on when I was about, you know, from the time I was a kid. So whenever it was, we worked on it. You know, if it was St. Patrick's Day, I had a leprechaun outfit at like 9 years old, and my dad would interview me, and I'd have a cigar and going, well, it's a hard thing. And then if it was Easter, I had a bunny outfit. My dad would go, this is a big day for you. Yeah, it's a big day.
Have you still got those outfits?
Oh, like you don't know. I'm not running around with a poodle, a dead poodle stuff.
That is not a poodle, that is a West Highland Terrier. I want to make that very clear.
It is dead, nonetheless.
Dead.
Dare you say that?
Don't tell her.
So therefore it was in the genes. in a
It
sense.
was sort of, it was a great way to grow up. You know, most kids sort of have to create a fantasy life when they're kids. They make believe characters. And we had this great, it was a vaudeville act is what we were as a family. So we had this great costume room where we could go in and play any character we wanted, that was fun to do.
And what about you as a child? Were you always devastating with the ladies as a child?
Yes, I was.
Were you
And
from the
thanks for
very
bringing that up.
No, I just wondered. I mean,
You know, I was the same. You know, I was a bit of a,
awkward with the opposite sex.
the opposite sex.
He means girls.
Oh, yes. I did. You know, who knows? You know, I think every kid is. You know, for a long period of time you are until alcohol comes into play.
Oh, yeah, that frees you.
It smooths things over a little bit. Yeah.
I think you should get bra classes at school. That's what I think.
Just to unsnap the
Yeah, just so that there isn't all that
I think that's what
fluffing
Velcro
around.
is for.
Yeah,
Velcro, don't you
well,
think? No?
depends, obviously, you know, on the weighting. I'd quite like to run a school, actually, for young men.
Would you?
A kind of, you know, show you the way round kind of school.
Then you did change it.
Don't even try. Don't even try. Yeah,
There is no seamless segue.
No, there is not.
No. And then, George,
Yes,
then you went into soaps, and you did an apprenticeship in some fairly
Bad television,
Bad
are you saying?
television.
Yeah, I've mastered bad television. I did a series where I played an undercover cop on a Harley during the day and a rock star at night. Should have read that script before I took the job. I did a lot of bad TV. That's the problem, is it just comes back to haunt you, you know. I did bad sitcoms that are just in syndication and run sort of constantly, and I've got a nice mullet haircut, and everything you could just, you know, everything bad about the 80s, you know, is me. So, yeah, it was good to get through that period of time.
And then, of course, you did ER.
Yeah, Doctor Show.
Well, but that was a marvelous TV series. I mean, that was beautifully written, beautifully acted.
It was fun. It was sort of changed television for a period of time, and it was fun to do. We were very excited about being a part of that. You know, it lasted. I was there for 5 years, and it was a roller coaster ride for 5 years.
Yeah. I suppose that one of the consequences of that kind of apprenticeship that you served was that when the big time finally hits, you were fairly well balanced about things. You were able to take a fairly sane view of stardom.
Well, yes and no. No, yeah, you're right. You are sort of, you're more prepared for it, because I was 33 when the show hit. So that's a big, you've sort of almost been famous several times, so you're sort of prepared for the fact that it has very little to do with you. I also had